Now, I'm only going to ask you this once. So I suggest you think about your answer before you give it. What exactly are you doing in my swamp? You're looking for the swamp? Well, congratulations. You found her. What do you want with me? The magistrate's wife sent you, did she? Wanted to get you to try to convince me to help her, right? You're not the first to come. And I'll tell you exactly the same as I told all the others. I can't help her. I tried, and I failed. I don't know what else she wants from me. What are you doing associating with her anyway? Don't you know the kind of person she is? No, of course not. She wasn't born in Tivermack. She was actually a noble woman of Elan before she got married off to the man who would soon become the magistrate of Tivermack. Although that man, while he is ambitious in and of his right, he is not the brightest, let's just say that. He wouldn't have gotten very far without the cunning of his wife. She turned Tivermack into her own personal playground until things got hard. Why are you associating with her? She has information that you need. Well, I suppose she would be someone who did. Information on what? Oh, it's a who. Who exactly are you trying to find information on? Maggie. Why are you looking for Maggie? Her sister sent you. I suppose that makes sense. Okay, listen up. I'm going to invite you into my home. We're going to sit and have a chat. Looks like we have a lot to talk about. And then you're going to leave, and leave me in peace. Agreed? Good. Now, come along. Well, aren't you coming? You have been looking for me, haven't you? Come on. Can I offer you some tea or something? Sorry about the mess and everything. I don't entertain very often, if you can believe that. You don't want tea? No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just tea. I mean, it's made from the plants of the marshes. Don't worry, just the good ones. I'm actually pretty good with my plants, so I promise it's fine. Sure, I will taste it first, if you'd like me to. Suspicious little thing, aren't you? No, it's fine. Experience is an excellent teacher. Alright, that should be fine. I do miraculously have 2 coffee cups. There. We'll let that steep for a moment, and I will try mine first, if it's that upsetting to you. Oh, that's fine. Nothing wrong with being cautious, I suppose. There. 2 cups of tea steeping for us. Okay, well, I'm sure you have some questions. I actually have a few too for you, so where do you want to start? At the beginning. It's a very good place to start, isn't it? Okay, well, you know I grew up in Whisperwind. Obviously. You know that Clea is my sister. How much do you know about why I left Whisperwind? It wasn't a fight with Farron, no. It was, I mean, you could call it a falling out, I suppose, but it wasn't a fight. It was, well, I suppose it's kind of personal. I expressed some things and she didn't agree. So I ended up deciding that I needed some different scenery. Let's just say that. I still think my sister is a bit broken up about it. She was pretty sad that I was leaving, but Whisperwind, it didn't have enough for me. Not without Farron. So I decided to leave. I came here. I did okay for a little while. It was, it's a rather expensive city. But I made some friends. The lightkeeper, for one. She and I were good friends for a while. Things were good. Things were actually fun. I was learning all kinds of things. There were people coming into the docks at Tivermack all the time with new types of magic and new types of all kinds of information and healing and plants and all sorts of things for me to learn. It was amazing, really. And it was good for a while. But then, that magistrate's wife that you're here for, yeah, she kind of ended up running me out of town. See, she has a daughter, and her daughter got sick. Really sick. And since I was the healer in Tivermack, she came to me to fix it. And I couldn't. I tried so many things from so many different practices of healing magic and herbology and all sorts of things. Every trick in the book that I had learned over the whole year or more that I was here, I tried everything. And nothing worked to heal her daughter. She was just asleep. She wouldn't wake up for anything or anyone. So I had her send for other healers from other cities, and we all tried. We all put our knowledge together and tried to be the one to save the girl, and none of us knew what was wrong with her at all. It was almost like she was cursed or something. But none of us knew why or how, anything. Without the magic of the elves, we didn't really have any other thing to try. And of course, the magistrate's wife didn't like that. She ended up running all of us out of town. And for the others who lived in other cities around the kingdom, that was fine. They just won't come back to Tivermack. But for me, who lived there, I didn't really have anywhere else to go. So I ended up here. It's kind of a long story, but this place was okay. The other buildings here are pretty broken down, but this one was actually still in okay shape. I mean, it took some doing getting it to be livable. I wouldn't say it's completely livable, but it works out. people at least leave me alone here, I guess. And there's lots of interesting things to learn here, too. You know, lots of plants and different animals that I had never seen before that I got to study and learn. And I've actually developed a few new types of magic. Well, not magic, I guess, but plant magic that I would love to try on somebody someday. But not Tivermack. Probably not Whisperwind either. Not with Farron. I was tempted, you know, to send for Farron when the girl got sick and none of us knew what to do. I was racking my brain trying to remember the different things that I read in her book when I was her apprentice there. And I couldn't remember anything like this. The sleeping curses and things that she had in that book, none of those cures worked. I don't know. Maybe Farron would be able to save the girl. She's the only person I know who would even have a chance at it. But it really seemed like there was something far more deep-rooted. That simple mixtures of plants and tinctures and poultices wouldn't necessarily be able to fix. So anyway, apparently the magistrate's wife has tried to send for some other people over time. People from other kingdoms, healers from the most remote places of Maladia, and none of them have been able to do anything. Obviously, she's pretty desperate if she's still sending in people here, trying to get me to help again. I told her, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I tried. I wish that I could. I really do. I don't particularly like the magistrate's wife, but I don't want a little girl to die. Well, I guess she's not dead. She's just asleep. And has been for, years now, I guess. It's a horrible fate. And if I could help, I would. But I can't. I don't know. I don't know enough. I wanted to learn everything and know everything that there was to know, and I just don't, okay? I don't know what to do. Tea's probably ready. Here, I'll drink mine first so you can see. There. See? It's perfectly fine. You can pick yours up. You like it? Good. Yeah, it's a few plants that I already knew, but a few new ones actually that, like I said, are from the marshes. Yeah. Some of the plants here are definitely not good for humans. I can tell you that. But some of them are okay. It was a lot of trial and error. Finding out and doing different tests on things. Luckily, Farron told me quite a bit about how to figure out if a plant is helpful or not. It doesn't work every single time, but there are certain things that you can do to determine what something is and if it will help or harm you or what its uses might be. Yeah. I learned quite a lot under Farron. I bet she would love this place, honestly. All these fascinating plants and animals that don't exist anywhere else in the kingdom. Not that I know of, anyway. In fact, there's this one kind of plant. It's bluish, and it almost seems like it glows at night. Not like a moonflower. I know what a moonflower is, obviously. But something... It doesn't actually have a flower on it. It looks more like a fern. Except it's blue, and it glows. I've seen some of the creatures here eating it, but it hasn't responded to any of those tests that I've done, so I honestly have nothing. I don't know what it is. I think I have some around here somewhere. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I submerged it in water to see what it would do. Thus far, it's just turned the water blue and that's it. I don't know. Should probably separate out the seed pods and the leaves and everything and see if that would make a difference. I don't know. Maybe Farron would know what it was. There's plenty I'd like to ask her, but I can't. I think that bridge has been quite solidly burned. Let's just say that. So, that answers some of your questions about what I'm doing out here and where I've been. But I still have a few questions for you. Why are you looking for me? Why did Clea all of a sudden decide that she was going to send someone to come look for me? No, I know she's sent some letters. I responded to one early on, but then there were a few that I just kind of forgot about. Honestly, I was just so busy. I meant to respond and I just never did. She was always better at that kind of thing than me. She's very thoughtful in that way. I sometimes tend to just kind of get wrapped up in what I'm doing. Clea's far more empathetic, I guess. Always has been. But then, after 3 years ago when I moved out here, I highly doubt that a messenger would be able to find me in here. So why did she send you? I know it's because she's concerned about me, but why didn't she send somebody sooner then? What happened that made her seek you out? Oh, you volunteered. Oh, okay. Who exactly are you? I don't remember ever seeing you around Whisperwind back when I was there. You're a traveler. Okay, well, that's ambiguous. I suppose then this is a good place for a traveler who, wants to travel somewhere new. How have you liked the city of Tivermack thus far? Yeah, it is very expensive. Nothing is free in Tivermack. No. Like I said, it didn't always used to be that way, according to the locals. There was, when the current magistrate took over with his lovely and very ambitious and intelligent wife pulling the strings. That was really when things started to, well, she didn't see trade in the city as a way to gain knowledge and information and experiences about different cultures. She saw it as gold, coins, and things turned around pretty quickly, honestly, once she was here. But such is life, I suppose. So, what exactly did you volunteer for to come find me? I doubt it was just out of the goodness of your heart to reunite two long-lost sisters. Clea was talking about something that I might have. Of course she was. Some of the things that I took before I left. Yeah, I took maybe more than I should have, I guess, from her little shop. But honestly, most of it was just a way to remember Whisperwind. I was leaving home. I'd never traveled outside of Whisperwind before. And I wasn't sure that I was ever going to return. So I just wanted some things, I guess, to remember. Well, depending on what it is, I might still have it. Unfortunately, some things I had to sell, just with life being expensive. But I might still have it. What was it? A chest, like a little wooden chest. Was it that one very curious one that we found in the attic when we were children? Of course she wants that back. I suppose there's something that she has been reading in Penham's journal, huh? She pored over that thing every day. I think she would do almost anything to be able to translate the parts that were in Elven. She constantly was wondering about what was going on in Penham's mind. Wait, she can translate it now? How? She can't speak Elven. Nobody can speak Elven. A translation stone. Fascinating. Where did she get something like that? Oh, Zot the peddler. She's quite the character, isn't she? You know, I've actually seen Zot once or twice since, well, not since moving here, but moving to Tivermack. I told her to tell Clea that I was doing well. Maybe she forgot. Zot is, she's a character. She remembers every single detail about all of the items that she collects and sells. But sometimes the more person-to-person things just sort of slip her mind, apparently. So she has been translating the Elven in Penham's journal. Well, I'm sure that's wonderful for her. I'm sure she's very happy that she can do that. Okay. So Penham must have mentioned that chest, huh? Yeah. It was interesting. It wasn't very big. It was just, little, not that big. It was very ornately carved with these different silver designs on them. I'm sure she told you we tried to open it when we were children, but we're never able to. Even with a hammer. Yeah, she begged me not to, but at one point I was so mad that we couldn't get it open that I took a hammer and just... Anyway, it was fine because it didn't break. It has to be magical in some way or another. It's definitely protected by wards, but no, we could never get it open. Why does she want it back then? She found a key that she thinks goes to it? Oh, that's fascinating. Listen to me, I sound like a child again. All curious about what might be in there. I'm sure it doesn't really matter. But to Clea, I'm sure it does. That chest. I doubt I would have sold it. Where did I put all that stuff? I just kind of threw it in a corner somewhere because it doesn't really serve any purpose. Let me look around a little bit, okay? Why don't you, you just sit there and you sip your tea. I'll go poke around a little bit and see if I can find it, okay? Okay. Haha. I knew I still had it. No way would I have sold this thing. Here it is. See, I told you it's not very big. Very interesting looking though, isn't it? It's very light too, whatever is in here. It's not like stones or money or anything like that. Knowing what we knew of Penham, we sort of figured that it was notes or something from her research or her travels or some sort of knowledge, probably. Penham was constantly wanting to learn, at least from what we could decipher from the common written bits. I wonder. I haven't thought about this thing in probably a couple of years. Probably shouldn't have taken it, honestly. I knew this was something that Clea really loved. I guess maybe that's why I wanted it. It was something to keep her close. Going off into the world by myself. Just wanted a little piece of my sister. Anyway, I'm not sure that I really want to part with this. Just saying. I mean, it's pretty special. Did you happen to bring something for me from Clea, maybe, to trade? She knows I was always fond of trading. You lost it. Of course you did. Well, what are we going to do about that then? Oh, you have something else. All right, sure. Show me what you got. Let's see. What is this? It's a decorative? Look around you. Do I look like somebody who cares about putting decorative things on her tables? No. What am I going to do with this? I mean, unless I grind up the shells to make a powder, I guess. But I can go get shells myself from the coast. It's like not that far that way. Why on earth would I want this? Not for something as precious as that chest. I don't know what I want. I mean, I don't need gold. It's not really something that matters out here. Unless you happen to have some sort of crazy magical curing all ailments potion, maybe, that I could give the magistrate's wife and then appease her, and then I could move back to Tivermack. If you happen to have something like that. What do you mean you do? I was joking. There's not something that doesn't exist. A fairy gave it to you. How on earth did a fairy give you a potion like that? Fairies they don't normally just hand out their magic. I mean, even just to get their fairy dust, Farron had to work for years to build rapport with them. How did they just give you... Where did you say you were from originally? That's right, you didn't. Well, can I see this potion? This magical cure-all potion? Fascinating. What type of fairy was it that gave you this? A flora fairy. Flora fairies are a bit temperamental. I mean, they can be amiable, but if you hurt their plants or do anything, they can definitely cause some havoc. How exactly did you acquire this? Well, okay, that sounds like a long story. Okay, whatever. So a fairy cursed you. Just summarize. I see. So a fairy cursed you because you traipsed on her plants. Stupid. And then the queen of the fairies ordered that fairy to make amends with you. And she gave you this. I would say a likely story, but that's very much not a likely story. I mean, stranger things have happened. Especially in the forest near Whisperwind, I suppose. Varen has some stories that were just about as far-fetched as that. Almost. I mean, it feels magical. You know, sometimes you just get this sense about items. Especially after I've studied so many. But this isn't a magic that's fabricated by mortals. This is something different. Something from an actual magical being, like a fairy. It feels like it. You know, I'm inclined to believe you. If that's what's in here. A potion that will cure any ailment, huh? Oh yeah, that's definitely Flora Fairy. There's definitely some Flora Fairy dust in there. Okay, well, I think you may have just solved all my problems. I could actually move back to Tivermack into the lighthouse again if I wanted. Maybe. I don't know. It was hard living out here at first, by myself, but I've actually kind of grown accustomed to it. I see why Farron lives away from people. Let's just say that. As my rapport grew in Tivermack as someone who was a healer and studying that sort of stuff, we constantly had people knocking on the door at the lighthouse, asking me to cure anything from a broken arm to a splinter in their toe. You don't need a healer for that. But, if it's available, people will flock to you, I guess. I see why Farron is a bit hard to get to, honestly. It was worth it, though, I guess. Interesting. Tell you what. I'll give you the chest. You take this to the magistrate's wife. I don't really want to see her, but you take this to her. You give her this and you tell her it's from me. And then we have a deal. You can have the chest. Does that sound like a fair deal? Okay. Yeah, I don't see why not. Sure. All right, here. This chest that honestly really isn't doing anything for me anyway. And this potion that is my ticket back to a different life if I want it. Sure. You're an interesting individual, aren't you? I'm sure Clea is fascinated with you, isn't she? Yeah. How is she? Good. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm sure she loves poring over Penham's journal, even more so now. How is Farron? Oh, she has a new apprentice now. Oh, that was fast. Okay, well, good for her. I'm sure if it's someone that she has chosen as an apprentice, it's someone very special. She doesn't just take on anybody, so. Well, good. I'm glad that she has found some help out there. Honestly, I think that's good for her. I know she might act like having an apprentice is annoying and getting visited by people is annoying, but I think it helps to keep her grounded a little bit instead of just being alone in the forest all the time. That's good. That's really good. What? I think it'll be a while before I ever return to Whisperwind. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. But not right now. Are you finished with your tea? Okay, well, drink up. Don't go all day. If I were you, I would not want to be traveling through the marshes at night, and you're definitely not staying here overnight. You got what you came for. What else do you need from me? I don't really have anything to give to Clea. Nothing that she would be interested in, except maybe some stories. You know what? Why don't I write you a letter for her? I'll make up for those letters that I forgot to answer. Do you have a few minutes if you just want to hang out for a little bit? Okay. I'll try to be fast. I was serious about not traveling through the marshes at night. You don't want to be caught out there. If you think it's dangerous now, you wait until all the night beasties come out. Even I've made peace with the spirits, but I don't like being out there at night. So, okay. Well, why don't you sit there and enjoy your tea? I'll write up a letter and you can take that back for her, okay? Maybe I'll write one to Farron too. Maybe. Anyway, thank you, I guess, for coming all this way. I mean, I know it was for the chest, but you ended up actually giving me exactly what I needed to. So, I guess it worked out, didn't it? Fate has a funny way of lining things up like that, doesn't she? Well, I'm glad that you have made the journey to Tivermack. Perhaps we'll meet again in Whisperwind. Maybe someday. Maybe someday.